Most people don't know what's holding them back, but you do because you listen to me, Sam, your self-care guru and journal junkie. Welcome to Journal Entries, your safe place where you can tune in weekly to get tips, tricks, and journal prompts to uncover your feelings, gain clarity, and make your move. Hello. Good morning. It is Sunday morning when I am recording this. My parents watched my son Griffin overnight. If you're new here, by the way, I'm a single mom and I never get night to myself. I guess most moms don't. But I never get time and space to myself. I always have a 3-year-old attached to my hip. And so it was lovely. I woke up at 10:11 in the morning and I just got a text from my mom saying that they're having a magical time and they're not ready to let him go yet. And I said, have him for as long as you want. I want to record a podcast and share something with other moms, specifically other moms that feel emotionally triggered. So I want to go back to the time when I was feeling triggered, not just by my son, but by all the responsibilities of being a mom and life and work and all of the things that we carry as women. There was a time where I was feeling emotionally triggered on what felt like a daily basis. And I was just ending each night feeling depleted. That was the word that just kept coming to me every night. I just felt like there was zero energy in my, not even energy, nothing left in the tank. And I had a journaling routine and I would start each morning with my pre-workout and my journal. And I would start almost every single journal entry saying, yesterday was hard in capital letters. And what was triggering me was sometimes the same stuff. There was a season where my son would just scream his head off when I was trying to change him for daycare or get dressed for anything, really. If it was a weekend, he would just be in his pajamas all day long. Or just getting ready to go to daycare. That was really rough. I mean, that's still rough, to be honest. Or there was a season when we were co-sleeping, a whole year where we were co-sleeping, which really works for some parents, and I love that for you. Co-sleeping did not work for me. It was taking 1 to 2 active hours of him falling asleep, trying to fall asleep. And by trying, he was jumping up on the bed. It was a whole thing. And I didn't have an ounce of time to myself during that whole year where I wasn't in mom mode or work mode, and it was just exhausting. Or I would be triggered when my house was just a mess, and I felt like I was constantly tripping over things that in my head, I would walk past these toys and say oh, I need to put those away 5 days in a row, right? Sometimes I would feel triggered by completely new stuff, when he started to have monthly ear infections. Monthly. It was exhausting, and that was during the holiday season, and during my egg freezing process, and it was just a lot. So my personal stuff going on too. Or the occasional times when I sunk into the hole of all of the challenges and emotional feelings of single parenting. So there's just a lot of stuff to be emotionally triggered by. And my focus was always on, why am I so triggered? Why do I feel so reactive all of the time? My nervous system immediately spiked when those things happened. And it took so long to calm down. But by the time that it calmed down, something else happened, is what it felt like. And so it felt like I was in a constant, heightened emotional state. Always. And I couldn't come down from it. And I was able to stay calm during my son's meltdowns. While he was freaking out, I've never been one to lash out and scream. In fact, there were times initially, when it did happen, I yelled like once or twice in the beginning, and I noticed that it worsened things by a million times. So very quickly I learned like, all right, well, that's not working. So there was that. I think like very soon on, I was like, that's not working for my son. But then also when I was trying to transition to him sleeping in his own room, there were a few nights that I yelled. But for the most part, I've been able to stay calm during his meltdowns, but still internally, it felt awful. Like I would, from the outside, picture like, this 3-foot tall person screaming at you. And I'm like, la-di-da. But inside, I'm just like, "Ugh." And my goal was always to feel internally less triggered or just to like feel less. That was what I thought the goal was. And this is what I wish someone had told me or that I learned earlier on when I was trying so hard to navigate my son learning his independence and having preferences. Even when he couldn't talk, he would just like scream. And me feeling so triggered by that and just overwhelmed by him and all the other responsibilities of work and life and picking up the house and all the things, right? It's not about not feeling triggered. I'm going to say that again. It's not about not feeling triggered. And here's why. It's because we feel that way. And we can't just change how we feel. And if we do, if we think that we can, we're invalidating that emotion. We're telling ourselves that it's not true, which then makes us doubt ourselves and then not trust ourselves. And that is the opposite effect of what we're trying to do. At least the opposite effect of what I'm trying to help the women that I teach and have inside my community do. I want you to trust yourselves. And when we invalidate our own experiences, not only are you gaslighting yourself, but that is just not the experience that I want you to have when you're already feeling bad and triggered. If you think about it, when you are feeling angry for whatever reason, you can try to say in your head, like, close your eyes and take some deep breaths and I'm not angry, I'm not angry, I'm not angry. But you still are. You might feel like a calm or angry, but you're still angry. Or if you feel jealous of someone or something, you can try to change the fact that you're jealous, but at your core, you're still jealous. You're still checking that person's Instagram like 5 times a day, or you're still dreaming about what it would be like to have what they have or have that thing. So when you're feeling triggered, try to recognize that that is how you're feeling. That's the first step to changing anything, is self-awareness and recognizing that. And the goal isn't to change that. It's not to change how you feel, but there are other things that we can change. And when we change that over time, our sensitivity changes and our reactions then change and our nervous system changes. That's when we're able to go from that constant emotionally heightened state to having very similar experiences and not feel so triggered. In fact, I had a client inside our emotionally empowered journaling community, and she sent me a text a month ago, 2 months ago now, and she said that she had her son like screaming in her face for whatever reason, and she didn't feel like the burst of rage and anger that she used to feel, which was like a huge win for herself because she used to default to just like this rage and anger, and having her son scream in her face. And I think he may have even hit her just because he's also dealing with some of that rage and anger. She just didn't feel anything. So she went from like this really heightened state to like literally feeling nothing and being able to be present and there for her son, which I think is a beautiful thing. So this is why I'm so excited to finally invite you to something that I've been working on for 3 weeks, and it's a free workshop. It's called Patient and Present. I'm going to be teaching you how to go from feeling triggered by your kids' meltdowns to patiently holding space for them, and actually enjoying being around them. Those are words that I've gotten from my clients. A different client said, I feel like I should be enjoying motherhood and I hate it right now. And I just feel like that's so relatable. Like if moms were honest with themselves, a lot of moms would agree with that statement. So if already you're like, yes, I need this, you can go register at the link in my show notes. But I'm going to walk you through the things that you are going to be learning about on this workshop. So first, I'm going to be going through the number one thing that's draining you and how to shift it. The 4 mistakes that most moms are making that are keeping you in that stuck and exhausted and overwhelmed state. The key to feeling calmer, quicker, and to create more patience that has nothing to do with meditation. I feel like everyone out there, and like I get ads all the time, it's like all is about meditate for 5 minutes or whatever. And it's nothing to do with meditation. And lastly, my secret formula for how to go from a decision-fatigued, overstimulated mom to a calm, patient, and emotionally regulated mom, even when your kids are screaming at you. With everything that I'm going to be sharing with you, I've like packaged all of that from what I've learned, and it's helped me. It's like legit all of the things that have helped me stay calm and patient and present and even connected. Like I feel connected during the tough times and big emotions that my son has. And my son's meltdowns haven't stopped, right? Now it's just now that he's a little older, he has meltdowns about other things. Like when I ask him to pick up the spaghetti that he legit, like the other day, he's eating spaghetti and I see him like scoop up a big glob of spaghetti with his hands. And I see him like look over at the floor and he's about to throw it on the floor. And then I see him bring it back over to the bowl. And he's about to put it back in the bowl. And in his mind, he's like, nope. And he walks back over to the floor and throws it on the floor. And I'm like, really? So of course, I'm like, that's fine. But now since you chose to throw it on the floor, you now have to pick it up. Meltdown, right? Or he has meltdowns when I ask him to get into the bathtub and also when I ask him to get out of the bathtub. He also hates it sometimes when I ask him how his school day went at daycare. Not every time, so I don't know what's going to happen when I pick him up from school. So he still has meltdowns. He's a kid. He's a 3-year-old. It's not his fault, but what I can control is how I respond. And that is what I'm going to be teaching you inside of this totally free workshop. And honestly, I think that it's the reason that everything that I'm going to be sharing with you is the reason that my son and I have such a strong connection and such a strong bond. So I'm excited for you to experience that. I'm excited for your nervous system to like get this breath of fresh air and to get a break, because at the very least, you're going to walk away from this feeling validated and feeling hopeful, even if nothing else changes. But I know that you will if you implement what it is that I'm going to be teaching you. There will be a recording if you can't join us live, but if you can attend the workshop live, I'm going to be doing giveaways. I haven't decided yet what they are going to be. I'm thinking, though, of giving away the journal prompt archive. That is my archive of 100 journal prompts that are split up by emotional goals like stress and self-sabotage and lots of other things, as well as like a mood tracker and my breakthrough blueprints and whatnot. And potentially 1 month free of my journaling community, Emotionally Empowered, which is valued at $197. Crazy. Anyways, this workshop, Present and Patient, is happening on Monday, August 19th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Again, it will be recorded if you can't join live. So to get the recording, you have to register anyways. So you can register at the link in the show notes. I'm so excited. I've put my heart and soul into the content that I'm going to be sharing with you, picturing the moms that are showing up on the other side of the screen and really, really wanting to serve you and wanting you to walk away feeling better and also more present and connected and enjoying your life. And when you're feeling better and lighter in your day-to-day life and as a mom, like your responsibility, like you have this weight off of your shoulders, you're going to show up differently, not just as a mom, but in your other relationships. At work, you're going to feel more inspired. You're going to feel more fulfilled to do the things that you want to do for you. So that's just something else that we're going to tap into. But I hope to see you there. And I hope that you found a little bit of inspiration from this episode as well. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's journal entry. I love connecting with my listeners, so make sure you screenshot this episode and tag me on Instagram at samantha.s.says so I know you're listening. And don't forget to grab your free training and journal prompts at www.samanthapenkoff.com/podcast.